So, Jenny, thanks for joining us on the show. How's everything going over there in quarantine?
It's all right, eh? This is day 5 now for us. So yeah, just spending a lot of time obviously at home, with the family and yeah, just keeping busy.
Awesome. Well, I have heard the new album, and it's just amazing, man. So, Red comes out on April 3rd, and it just really kicks off heavy too, straight to the point.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah. Yep, that's what we wanted.
So, what does the title mean to you, Red?
Well, red means a lot of things, or it can mean a lot of things, red can be the color for passion, love.
Mm.
It can also be the color of anger. Um, so you've got all these different emotions that this color represents, and I guess our album is kind of, a bit of an emotional roller coaster as well. So yeah, it's very fitting, and we all like the color red, I guess.
The cover's cool. I dig the cover. It's very red.
Yeah.
Cool. So, of course, I mean, were there any events leading up to the creation that influenced its direction and the title?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of our songs on the album are written from experiences we have had or the band has had. There's a song on the album called The Victor, and it was actually about the band. We went for a riding weekend away at the beach, and we were heading back to Hamilton, and we came across a pretty nasty car accident where two children had been thrown from the car and were laying on the side of the road. So we were there pretty much helping out until the appliances got there, and it really affected us. Yeah, so you've got something like that. And then obviously there's Endo, which was written about me and my 11 centimeter mass and the surgery I had for that.
Have you had a lot of people contact you in regards to that? Because I know it was released as a single prior to prior to the release of the album. But have you had a lot of women contacting you saying that it's inspired them and helped them through their own battles with Endo?
Yes. Yeah, I have actually. And even our shows, like a lot of shows in Europe when we played last time with Hailstorm, and women would come up to me after the show because we'd always be at the merch table, and yeah, they'd just be like, "Thank you so much for talking about this, because it's something that doesn't really get talked about, and I've got it, and my sister's got it, blah blah blah." There's always someone who had it or knew someone who had it, So yeah, it was quite good.
And I know, with the lockdown and everything, it's put a lot of things on hold. But I know you guys were signing the physical copies of the record, which was cool to see. That was awesome. In saying that, with it being that everything's on hold and there's the digital version still coming out on April 3rd, I'm guessing that you guys are going to be pretty busy taking everything to the post office. It looks like you had fair bit of orders, so that everyone's anticipating this album, which is amazing. So I guess you're getting all prepped for that, I guess.
Yeah, well, actually, we're releasing the album on digital platforms, but all the physical copies we can't actually send off until the lockdown's over. So yeah, like at the moment, like the situation here is that we can go online shopping, but we won't get anything until this lockdown's over. So if I went on and bought a pair of shoes, I wouldn't get them until after the lockdown's finished, and that's going to be the same for the album. So we're just going to wait till the lockdown's over and then have those albums ready to send off and for people. And like we were going to be doing JB Hi-Fi signings and in-store meet and greets. But obviously we can't do that anymore because it's closed. So yeah, that's all right. I mean, it was a bit of a shock at first when everything got cancelled, but what can you do? There's people dying, so got to be safe.
That's exactly right. I mean, how are you guys staying in touch while this is all happening and communicating? Is it by like stuff like this, with Zoom meetings or jams remotely?
Just at the moment, it's just Facebook. Yeah, last time I saw the guys was I think last Monday, because then we got told, oh no, it was the week before, sorry. We pretty much got told that we were about to go into level 3 last Monday, and then we went into level 4 on Thursday. So we've been in lockdown since Thursday. So no, I can't even go and see the guys at all. So everything has to be on the internet. But I guess when the album is released, we'll probably do something like this and have like a celebratory drink on Zoom or.
It's a cool new MIDI. I did an interview the other day with this, and I really had a good time. It was a cool hang. So I think it's the future, maybe, of the way everything's going.
Yeah.
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 Good
Yeah, I
times.
get you.
Well, I mean, of course, you worked with Greg Haver and Simon Gooding on the album as well. They've done everyone from like Bullet for My Valentine, Alien Weaponry, just geniuses. How was your experience with them, and what did you take away from working with those dudes?
Experience was really good. We had worked with Greg a few years ago. He actually came into percussion on our song Mountains, which was on Be Like the River.
Yep.
And so we wanted to work with him, and he was going to be in Auckland because he's between UK and New Zealand quite a lot. And we actually went and recorded 2 songs with him first, back in 2018, and it was All Fall Down in Endo. And we had Simon working with us as well, but we were like, okay, we'll get him to we're going to get Simon to mix these 2 songs, but we're also going to get this big dude in America to mix these songs as well. And we're not going to, we're going to go into this blind and listen to what the best one is. And we actually both all came out with Simon's one, so we're like, okay, well, we're definitely going to go with him for the other producer. So no, he's really good. And they're just such great guys to work with, and fun, just made the whole thing a lot of fun. So yeah, it's cool.
How did they push you in the studio? What do they do for your vocals, your vocal takes? How do they get the best out of you?
Just make me do it over and over and over again. No. If something wasn't, if they reckon I could have done something better, they were going to tell me that, and they'd make me do it until it was better. Or they were really good with coming up with harmonies, because sometimes I sort of fall short there. I only come up with so many, but they had just so many great ideas. Yeah, actually, I feel like I spent more time on doing sort of harmonies and stuff than the actual laying down the vocal tracks themselves, just single tracks. But no, they were real cool.
When it comes to like layering vocals and things like that, do you find that you'll go back and go, oh, I've got to add something to the main vocal because it's opened a few doors creatively doing those takes?
Yeah. I think that happened. There was one song that did happen. So I'm trying to remember what it was now. But yeah, I've definitely done that anyway. Because sometimes I guess when you add some more layering, and you can finally hear something that maybe wasn't there beforehand, and what's going to sound good. So yeah, and they're all for that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I saw you guys at Download in Sydney last year, and that was phenomenal. And a lot of people turned out for your set there. It was huge for that stage in the side, and it was massive. I mean, how was your Download experience, Jennie?
Oh, it was awesome. So much fun. Yeah, loved it. It was real cool, man. I just I was hoping to get back there this year, but we had Homegrown, a big New Zealand festival here, and obviously that got postponed, and I see Download's been canned or postponed in Aussie anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah, they were, I don't know, just because we've even played the UK one download, and all three have just been, I don't know, just so much fun, and like everyone's just real cool, and yeah, it's hard to explain. Like I remember going to big day outs when I was younger, and a lot of people were just dicks, whereas not so much here. It's just everyone's there for the love of music and having a good time. It's real cool.
You know, I agree with that. I've had that conversation with many people over the years that I think because it was a bit more mixed with Big Day Out, if you know what I mean. Like you
Mm,
had like the boiler room and everyone
yeah,
on
yeah,
pingers and and going
yeah,
crazy that it kind of, yeah. But I mean, you get a whole bunch of metal dudes or rock dudes and girls in an
yeah.
area, and they all seem to look after each other, have a good time. So
Mm.
yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And you've toured and played with bands like Hailstorm, Disturbed, and Slash. How have those experiences been? That's massive. And I mean, what have you learnt from those guys being out on the road with them?
Um, just being more humble, and Hailstorm were out there every night just smashing it as if it was their first show of their tour, like every single night just putting in that amazing effort. And you can tell that these guys were tired. I remember we were touring with them in Europe, and they're up to like their 60th show,
Oh,
and but it didn't seem like that.
mm,
Like they just get on and do it. And we took that away from just seeing that. We were like, okay, well, we're going to make sure that every show we do, we're going to put in the effort even more.
yeah,
And just yeah, just being a good person, touring with Slash and that crew, and they were just so nice. And you don't have to be a dick to people. Like, don't act like a rock star, because in the end of the day, we're not that big anyway. But some people do act like that. Some bands, they think, oh shit, I'm opening for this massive
mm,
massive group or massive
yeah.
band, and yeah, I can now be a complete cock. But no.
Seen that. Have seen that happen. But hey, at the end of the day, we're all people.
Yeah.
You
True.
know, still got to load out our stuff at the end of the day, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, of
Right.
course, once this is all over, I mean, what's the band's plan for touring and supporting Red? I mean, I know
Oh.
it's probably been pushed back a little bit, but I mean, Europe was on the cards, I believe.
Yeah, we were to be leaving next weekend. Would have been like yeah, we would have been on a plane like 2 days after our album release. So that's going to be pushed back to hopefully November,
Mm,
hopefully. And we did pencil in a bit of a New Zealand tour and some Aussie dates. So hopefully, I guess it just depends on
fingers crossed.
like the virus. Like we've
Mm,
we've been told 4 weeks, could be 6 weeks, and it depends on how everything is after everyone comes back from this lockdown. And yeah, we're hoping to do lots more touring. Even the States we're looking at, but I guess it all depends on what's going to happen with the virus. So it's hard to say. But
do you reckon? I
yeah,
mean,
but
right now seems to be a real creative time for people. I mean, they're stuck at home and they're really putting their heart and their minds towards positive things like creating music. Do you think that when this is all over, we're just going to have a massive like output of, creative, what am I trying to say?
no, yeah. No,
You know
I
what I'm
think we
trying
are
to say?
actually. I think
Yeah.
yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of musos just who have been bored and have been making up new riffs,
Mm.
and then once they get out, they all come together and just make up some songs. I think that's going to be the situation for us anyway. Um, yeah,
Have you guys
I
been
know a lot
writing?
of bands are doing that already. What's that?
Have you guys been writing while you're
Yeah,
on
yeah.
lockdown?
Well, I have. I've been writing some lyrics, when I get the time, but I know it sounds funny because I'm home all day, but I've got a 3-year-old. So.
Oh, yes, I do understand that one. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, I think because even our manager's just like, well, here's the time to start, working towards the next album. But he's not wrong,
But when you do have the kids, I mean, I've had mine home all week, so it's just I don't know if you can hear one of them in the background now, but
Oh, no.
but it's hey, here's to us parents, right? Oh, and this is a New Zealand beer,
Yeah.
by the way. This is one of your
Oh, that
Waka.
Oh, that Waka chain. Oh, yeah.
My favorite
Yeah,
drop.
yeah.
Not even from my own country.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, I definitely hope it all comes together for you guys very, very quickly, and I think everyone's going to start coming to gigs in force once this is all out, because everyone's missing it, climbing up the walls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, and the new album Red is just phenomenal. You guys have just done such a good job, and people are going to love it. April 3rd.
Yes. It's only a few days away, man.
No, ticking it off. Yeah, crossing it off the calendar. Funny enough, it's my eldest daughter's birthday as well.
Oh,
there you go.
lovely.
Yeah, she'll have something new to listen to. Well,
yeah.
Awesome. Well, Jennie, thank you again for hanging on the show, and all the best to you and the guys for the album release and the tour when it comes up. And I hope to see you guys down here very, very soon.
Yeah, we hope to be there.
Yes.
Fingers crossed.
It'll definitely will happen. All right. Well, thanks again, and I'll see you soon.